Hey, back for part two of the video as promised. I have looked over the remaining four. I see that this one here, we get a kind of a early birthday present with 1/4 plus 2/4. We don't even have to change the denominator. It's already equal there. So that's great. But this is good because it'll just remind us, oh yeah, what do we do when this happens? And so we know that we just add across the top. 1 plus 2 to get our top number of 3. And then with the fractions, these stay the same, okay? So it's not a 4 plus 4 thing. It just means that it's staying the same. We're looking at, if we had this pizza here, and we had one piece of pizza, 1/4, and then we also got 2 pieces. There's still 4 pieces. It doesn't like become 8 pieces. It still stays 4. But here you can see I drew in 3 of those 4, 3/4. Okay, so let's go on to that next one. All right. And for those of you who were with me with part 1, just an update. The 2-year-old has woken up. Not a big surprise though. But okay, so question 3b, 10/12 plus 2/3. And then here we'll definitely have to change these because 12 and 3. This is like this one's speaking French, this one's speaking German. They don't know what they're saying. So they're going to have to find a common language. They're going to say, hey, do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English? Do you speak Russian? Oh, wait, we both speak Russian. Okay, so we got to figure out what that is. I just kind of made up that analogy. I don't know where that came from. So we have 10/12 plus 2/3. So our strategy, we'll start with the smaller one. That's just what I like to do here. But we have 3 and 12. So if we did 3 times 1 is 3, obviously. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 4 is 12. Well, wait a minute. That's this number. So this 12 will stay the same here, or this one here, 10/12 will stay the same. But then this one here, this 2/3, this will become a new fraction with the denominator of 12. So that, oh, we've found our common language. We've found our new denominator. So let me get rid of these out of the way because I'm kind of getting in my own way with my writing here. So this, again, will stay 10/12. And then this will become a new fraction with 12 as the denominator. So if we went from 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times 4, we're going to have to do the same with this 2. 2 times 4. So this will be 8/12. So then we add 10 plus 8 is going to be 18. Well, kind of going way over here. 18, and then that number on the bottom stays that same. So 18/12. If we want to figure out what the mixed number is, 12 goes into 18 one time, and there's a remainder of 6. So that would equal 1 6/12. Okay, and again, we could simplify this to 1 1/2, but that's like just continuing. There's always more math to do, it seems like. So if you've written 1 1/2, that's great. If you wrote 1 6/12, great. But again, what I said in part 1, 18/12, writing that shows me that you knew the important part here, the process of how we find a common denominator. Okay, so let's. Okay, so we're cruising on part 2 of this video here. So 4a asks us, okay, what is 2/3 plus 1/4? And we have denominators of 3 and 4. Okay, so we're going to have to use that strategy down here that we used. So I'll take 3 and 4. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. 3 times 3, sorry, it's going to be 9. 3 times 4 will be 12. Okay, let's see what we got for 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. And here we go again with another denominator, common denominator of 12. Happens every time. It must be just a common multiple, I suppose. It's like rolling a 7 with 2 dice. I don't know, must happen the most. So if we do that, we can say, okay, we know this denominator is 12, we know this denominator is 12, but how did we get there? 3 turned into 12 because we multiplied by 1, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3. So then this 2, if we multiply that by 3, will be 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, hopefully, I don't know, if those arrows get in the way, I apologize. I'll just do that without the arrows now. So 4, we turned that into a 12 by multiplying by 1, 2, 3. We multiplied this 4 by 3 to get 12. So we have to multiply this 1 by 3, and 1 times 3 is 3, sorry. And then we just add them up. 6 plus 3 is 9, and then we have 9 twelfths. So you could simplify that to 3/4. I'm not even going to write that because, again, what I want you to focus on, what I think is important, is this. You see these fractions that don't have the same denominator? How do we add them? Okay, well, we got to make a common denominator, and then changing this means we have to change that top number, that numerator. Okay, I think we have one more problem, and then we can cross off this sheet from our distance learning to-do list, and then we can focus on whatever else you're focused on. Feel free to check in. Let me know what else you're focusing on during distance learning. Also, feel free if you have any tips on getting a 2-year-old to sleep, but also helping him stay asleep. Love to hear your tips. Okay, 1/3 plus 3/4. That one, you might want to ask your parents on that. I don't know. Or if you have a younger brother or sister, I don't know. 1/3 plus 3/4 equals what? So, again, 3 and 4. If we remember from the last problem, the common denominator will be 12, but let's just go through it because the important part of this practice is the process of finding out what it is. Not just memorizing something, but the process. Okay, how did we get there? How did we figure that out? Okay, so let's use 3. We'll do the same kind of setup here. Multiplied by 1, multiplied by 2, by 3, by 4. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8, and then 4 times 3 is 12. And then, big surprise, we have 12 for our common denominator. So both of these will have the denominator of 12, so we can add them. And if we went from 3 to 12, that means we multiplied by 4. So we multiply by that 1 by 4 to get 4 over 12. Here, we add that up. We figure out we went from 4 to 12, so we multiplied by 3. And so we're going to add this 3. We're going to multiply this 3 by 3. Sorry if I misspoke there. So we multiply the 4 by 3 to get 12. So we multiply this 3 by 3 to get 9. Okay, so then 4 plus 9 is going to be 13 twelfths. And again, improper fraction, so we could turn this into 12 goes into 13 one time, but with 1 left over, the remainder of 1. So 1 and 1/12. If you want the official answer, 13/12 is perfect in my eyes though right now. So that is that sheet there. So I know, like I said in part 1, I don't know if you skipped to part 2. What I said is these are the common questions I'm getting. I've talked to a few people this week about doing this fraction work where you're kind of comfortable with adding with the same denominator. But what do we do when we add these unlike denominators? How do we figure that out? How do we turn this 3 and a 4 into something that we can add, something we can work with? So, hope all's well. Miss everybody. Kind of obviously strange times, but I think that it is, I see everybody kind of doing, whether you're able to do all of the work or some of the work or whatever, I just want you to make sure that you are doing the best you can do, but reaching out when you have questions. That's the most important thing. If I'm not able to connect right away, it doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about it or trying to figure out something. Most likely means I'm chasing a 2-year-old around, but that's, I mean, I'll get, that's, I don't know why I'm babbling about that, but, again, important things. Miss you guys, hope you're doing well. And math, hope this makes sense, but, just do the best that you can do, but always ask questions when you have them. Okay, thanks, bye.